Why global supply chains are reconfiguring. Now, what if the cheapest way to move a t-shirt around the world stopped being the smartest way overnight? And what if every big brand, from cars to coffee, is quietly redrawing the map right now? Welcome to Dollar's Dance. We rig the money with simple stories to reveal the truth, and it's all about money. The shocks that changed the map. Picture this. A $20 t-shirt, cotton from one country, spun into yarn in another, woven and dyed in a third, cut and sewn in a fourth, shipped by ocean, trained across a continent, trucked to a warehouse, and finally to you. For years, this worked like a Swiss watch, long, thin, cheap, and right on time. Then the clock slipped. First, the pandemic. Factories shut, ports backed up. A container that cost $1,500 to ship from Asia to the US suddenly cost $15,000. A buyer who trusted just in time had to live with wait and hope. Lead times doubled, shelves went empty. Companies learned a painful lesson. The cheapest chain isn't the safest chain. Second, geopolitics. US-China tariffs didn't go away, they hardened. Tech export controls arrived. Russia's invasion of Ukraine turned energy markets upside down. Sanctions reshaped who could sell to whom. Boardrooms started asking, what happens if the rulebook changes on a Tuesday? Third, energy and money. Europe's natural gas prices spiked. Power-hungry factories paused. Interest rates rose, which made holding big inventories more expensive. Insurance and freight premiums climbed after the Suez Canal blockage, the Red Sea attacks, and the Panama Canal drought. Every extra mile now carried an extra cost and extra risk. Fourth, climate. Floods in Thailand once knocked out a chunk of the world's hard drive supply. Now drought slows ships through Panama. Heat waves hurt crop yields. Storms shut ports. Climate risk isn't a headline, it's a line item. Fifth, technology. Robots got cheaper, sensors got smarter. 3D printing went from toy to tool. That shrinks the wage gap in production. Labor-only advantages don't carry the day like they used to. Sixth, policy. The CHIPS and Science Act pulled chip-making back to the US. The Inflation Reduction Act pushed EV batteries to North America. Europe's CBAM says, if you make it dirty, we'll charge you at the border. The USMCA refreshed North American trade ties. Friendshoring and nearshoring became C-suite words. So why are supply chains reconfiguring now? Because all these drivers hit at once, not one straw on the camel's back, more like a stack of bricks. Here's the shift in plain terms. From one big supplier to a few. Companies are moving from single source to multi-source. From just-in-time to just-in-case. A little more inventory, a lot more sleep at night. From long and cheap to shorter and smarter. Fewer ocean miles, more regional hubs, more options when things break. Let's tour the new map. North America. Mexico is on a roll. Close to the US, trains and trucks over ships and tariff-friendly under USMCA. Factories for autos, appliances and electronics are popping up from Monterey to the Bajío. The US Southeast is humming. Chips in Arizona and New York. Battery plants in Georgia, Tennessee, Michigan and Ohio. Carolina ports are investing. Texas is a logistics magnet. Canada is leaning into critical minerals and cleaner power. Asia. China is still the heavyweight. No one leaves easily. But China plus one is real. Vietnam, Thailand, and Malaysia are winning in electronics and assembly. India is scaling smartphones and building supplier ecosystems. Indonesia and the Philippines matter for nickel and other battery inputs. Europe, North Africa, and Turkey. Central and Eastern Europe, Poland, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Romania, are growing as auto and electronics hubs for the EU. Turkey, Morocco, and Tunisia offer proximity manufacturing for apparel, auto parts, and wiring harnesses. Latin America beyond Mexico. Brazil is a giant for agri and heavy industry, and it's pushing renewables. Chile and Argentina are key for lithium. Colombia and Costa Rica are pitching services and advanced manufacturing. Middle East. The Gulf is investing in ports, air cargo, and petrochemicals. The UAE and Saudi Arabia want to be logistics crossroads. A quick story. A home appliance brand used to build in coastal China, ship to LA, and rail to Chicago. In 2021, they waited 6 extra weeks for a slot at the port. In 2022, they tried Vietnam. In 2023, they placed a line in Mexico and shifted some parts to Texas to be closer to their biggest retailers. Same product, 3 different paths in 3 years. Why? They stopped betting on one door. Before we pause, let's clear a myth. This isn't the end of globalization. It's a remodel. The world isn't going from flat to walled. It's going from one big chain to many regional webs. China will still be huge, but you'll see more local for local, made in the Americas for the Americas, made in Europe for Europe, made in Asia for Asia. The rebuild, winners, losers, and how to prepare. Let's start with a kitchen table moment. A mid-size US brand has a choice. Keep making everything in one plant far away, or split production. Some in Vietnam, some in Mexico. Keep a specialty line at home. The COO wants fewer surprises. The CFO looks at costs and cash. The head of sales wants reliable delivery dates. The right answer isn't cheapest on paper, it's safest in practice. Who's winning in this reshuffle? Mexico, proximity, USMCA, trucking over shipping, strong supplier base. Big wins in autos, appliances, electronics, furniture. Vietnam and India, electronics assembly, smartphones, apparel, footwear, and a growing base of parts and components. Central, Eastern Europe. Auto parts, wiring harnesses, industrials that feed the EU market. The US Southeast and Midwest, chips, batteries, EVs, advanced materials with generous incentives and available land. Logistics tech and industrial automation. Software that maps suppliers, robots that handle repetitive work, and AI that forecasts demand. Critical minerals and recycling, lithium, nickel, copper, and battery recycling become strategic, not just commodities. Who's losing? Single point of failure regions. If one city or river supplies half the world something, that's now a red flag. Cheap labor-only pitches. If the only advantage is wages, robots plus shipping risk can wipe it out. Energy-intensive plants in places with volatile or expensive power. Too many bad bills, too many shutdowns. Industry snapshots you can point to. Semiconductors. The US, Japan, and the EU are spending big to bring fabs and packaging closer to home. Export controls limit certain transfers to China. Malaysia and Vietnam grow in testing and packaging. It's not a full decouple, it's a rebalance. EVs and batteries. US incentives reward North American content. Battery plants cluster near car factories. Mining and refining are a battle. More local, more allies, more recycling. Pharma. After PPE and drug shortages, companies are adding backup sources for active ingredients and building more regional capacity. Apparel. Basics shift toward Bangladesh and Vietnam. Fashion cycles might slow a bit. Automation, sobots, starts to matter for simple stitches. Some cut-and-sew work returns to Mexico and Central America for speed. Food and agri. Cold chain and indoor farming grow near cities. Climate risk pushes diversification of crops and suppliers. What does this mean for prices? In the short run, redundancy costs money. 2 suppliers cost more than 1. Extra inventory ties up cash. New factories aren't cheap. In the long run, better planning, closer production, and automation can offset some costs. You might not see the rock-bottom prices of the 2010s, but you'll see more reliability, fewer stockouts, fewer ships delayed emails. There's also carbon math. Europe's carbon border adjustment mechanism and similar rules add cost to carbon-heavy imports. Cleaner power and shorter routes become a competitive edge, not just a PR line. For the overall economy, expect a few things. A construction and equipment boom as companies build new lines and warehouses. That supports jobs. Slightly higher inflation than the ultra-low 2010s because resilience isn't free. Central banks may keep rates higher than we were used to. Trade doesn't vanish, it shifts. More within regions, less dependence on one corridor. Okay, what should companies actually do? Here's a simple playbook. 1. Map your supply chain beyond Tier 1. Know where your suppliers are. Know the bottlenecks. If one flood can stop you, you need a plan B. 2. Diversify. Aim for at least 2 qualified suppliers in different places. Pilot small orders before you need them. 3. Shorten where it counts. Not everything needs to be near you, but your most time-sensitive or high-margin items probably do. 4. Fix your inventory. Keep just-in-case stock for critical parts. Don't bloat everything. Segment smartly. 5. Build a control tower. Use software to see orders, shipments, and risks in one place. Track storms, strikes, and policy changes. 6. Write smarter contracts. Add clauses for rerouting, shared freight costs, and fast audits. Index prices to freight or currencies so you're not stuck. 7. Mind the money. Higher rates make long supply chains expensive. Recalculate your true landed cost with carrying costs included. 8. Train your people. Multi-site planning, quality control across borders, and automation skills are the new basics. 9. Mind the rules. Tariffs, export controls, subsidy rules, and carbon reporting are now everyday logistics. Get a playbook, not just a lawyer. 10. Communicate. To tell customers what you're doing and why. Reliability sells. How about workers? More factory and logistics jobs show up closer to consumers. They're more technical than before. The best investment? Training, mechatronics, quality, maintenance, data. Policymakers' to-do list. Build ports, rail, and power. Approve faster, permit smarter. Make it easy to plug in a factory and hire people. Team up, align incentives with allies. If rules fight each other, factories don't break ground. Back small firms. The giants will adapt. Small suppliers need help on finance and training. Investors' angle. Watch themes, industrial automation, logistics real estate, ports and rail, grid and clean power, critical minerals, North America and India manufacturing plays. Check risk. Companies tied to one region, one customer, or one route look fragile. Premiums will reward resilience. And for everyday shoppers? You might see fewer ultra-cheap, ultra-fast surprises, but you'll see fewer empty shelves. Durable basics get more dependable, repairs and parts get closer and faster. Here's the takeaway. This isn't the end of global trade. It's the end of the old map. We're moving from long and lean to smart and resilient. The best supply chain isn't the cheapest on a sunny day. It's the one that bends and doesn't break when the storm hits. If this gave you a fresh way to see the world, hit subscribe. The map is changing while we sleep, and tomorrow's winners are drawing new lines tonight.